Poor Wonderboy. His girlfriend Tina has been kidnapped, so he sets out to go and rescue her. And little does he know how challenging a journey that will turn out to be. Along the way, he will bump into a giant X, which can contain beneficial items, but they can also occasionally contain not so beneficial items. The first item you get is usually the axe, which in my opinion looks like a hammer, but what do I know? And the skateboard, which will protect you from one hit, but the downside is you cannot stop fully on the skateboard, and in the case of this round I didn't want to bring it along because I didn't want to be unable to stop. This bonus we got this time is a guardian angel, and while she's on screen she doesn't have to be attached to Wonderboy. After the initial attachment you are not invulnerable before she has attached to you, but as long as she's on screen after she has detached herself, you can walk through enemies and obstacles without risk. The game consists of 7 areas, each 4 rounds, and each round has 4 checkpoints. You will probably notice on the different paths there are signs with numbers on, and once you've passed one of those signs, you will start from that point if you lose a life. The 7 areas are the 4 rounds looping. So once you've seen the first 4 rounds, you've seen all the rounds. But of course, the distribution of enemies and obstacles will be very different from round to round. And of course, sorry about that. Of course, the game will get progressively more challenging. This egg contains a vampire thing, which will drain your vitality, and at double speed, I should say. And speaking of vitality, if you look at the top of the screen under the score, you can see Wonderboy's vitality bar. It will slowly drain over time, acting as a timer, and eating fruits or picking up fruits will counteract the loss of vitality. The mushroom you pick up before will convert fruits into desserts, which will double the point value of the items, but also increase the vitality gain. It began arcade conversion. I was a bit greedy with that jump there. Tried to make that cloud in one cycle, but I couldn't. It's silly. The game being an arcade conversion, it had multiple buttons for doing different stuff, but on the Commodore 64 you use the fire button to throw your axes. Makes sense, but also by holding down the fire button you will move faster and jump higher. And 99% of all jumps has to be done with the fire button first in order to make them. Music changing, we are approaching the last part of round 4. Just missed an extra life up there. Bummer. And here we face the area boss, which is supposed to be an ogre, but what do I know? Avoid the fireballs, they will flame you, and area 1 complete, not round 1, area 1. Overall, this game is quite enjoyable. If you're into platformers, this is definitely one of the better ones for the Commodore 64. The graphics are fine, they don't need to be spectacular, they're definitely not bad. The music, surprisingly, doesn't get on your nerves, even though it loops quite extensively. And of course, working out where the different enemies are and how the different platforms behave is part of the learning experience. Oh no, not a skateboard, not here. So, getting rid of it, smacking it into a frog. Don't do this at home, kids. And by saying kids, I want to make a reference for YouTube that this is not aimed at kids. It was just a comment, so just safeguarding myself here. As you can see, the different rounds are different in layouts. Well, the layout is the same, but composition is definitely very, very different. And considering the fact that there are 7 areas that you have to memorize in order to complete the game, it is quite a challenge. I completed area 1 in about 4 minutes, so the other areas were about to take a bit longer. Spoiler, I will not complete the second area. I partially blame my controller. My controller is not exactly in the best of state, and it's I need to get it replaced. It's eating inputs, and sometimes when I'm jumping it's just stopping in mid-air and things like that, so I'm not denying my own ineptitude, which is definitely, I mean, certain games I'm very good at, and I could get very good at Wonderboy if I took the necessary time to do it, but at the same time I also want to make the videos without having to spend a month preparation time. I could definitely see myself spend the necessary time in order to learn this game once I get my hands on a controller I can actually rely on. Because of course there's no level selection or anything, so once you game over you start back from area 1. As arcade conversions go, this definitely gets top marks for being one of the better ones for the Commodore 64. And although it can be frustrating, every game can be, until you learn them, it is definitely a great little game. I suppose it helps a lot that the arcade was great as well, because something to bear in mind, of course, is when you look at arcade conversions, the arcade machines or cabinets, whatever you call them, were powered by a print board, which were usually the size of a home computer print board, and probably had as much, if not more, power than a lot of home computers. And those boards were designed to power one game. So obviously a lot more resources could be put into making that one game look great, and sound great, and play great. Which, of course, is not always the case, as any arcade enthusiast will tell you. There was an awful lot of arcade games that weren't worth the coins you fed them. Obviously, in order to swallow more of your coins, a lot of arcade games were also, I would argue, artificially more difficult than they necessarily had to be, but for some bizarre reason, a lot of Commodore 64 arcade conversions tend to be as difficult, if not more difficult, than the arcade originals. But oh well, Wonderboy is definitely getting my hearty recommendation if you ever fancy loading up an emulator of the original hardware and play a nice little challenging game. So thanks for watching, take care, bye bye for now.